Hello there. Welcome to the Drifting Spore. I'm Steve. It is a warm afternoon in Nova Scotia today. It's about 6 or 7 degrees Celsius. I'm out at the face and I'm here doing a bit of a challenge. So, a fella, Marty from Martys Ramblings, is a new channel that I've started watching recently, and me and Marty clicked pretty much immediately. We have a lot of similar interests. So anyway, Marty issued a challenge to show him your favorite way to make coffee, how I do coffee in the woods. So today, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to fulfill that challenge. Hopefully, things have already gone away from what I had thought I was going to do, which is fine, no biggie. I always bring a backup stove, but if you're in Nova Scotia, you know that, right, a lot of places there's no snow on the ground. Where I live, there's still snow in the woods and on the ground, so everything's soaked. So I'd planned on making a fire out here today. I'm not going to do that because there is a ton of wet wood everywhere. Even the small fine sticks are wet, so I just don't feel like getting smoked out. And I brought out a cool backup, so I'll try that, and we'll make some coffee here at the face. We've got the running stream beside us, man. First order of business is I'm going to hang my hammock, though, I hope. I think I see a couple trees I can get them hung from. So I'm going to try a few different, try a few options and see what works. I think that guy to that guy would be best, but we'll see. If you're interested in seeing how this plays out, stick around. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoy. Okay, let's see about getting this hammock strung up. Hammock chair, that is, not hammock. Did I say hammock chair earlier? If not, I meant to. My hammock chair. One I got from Mark. I'm still running my ratchet straps for tie-offs, my ratchet straps. And I think they're going to be pretty long. So I might be able to get this where I want it. Let's see. I'm not doing anything fancy knots-wise. I'm not a knots guy. I know a few, and I've learned a few, but I don't know too many. And a lot of times when I try to do a knot that I've learned, it ends up not working out, and I end up just kind of winging it anyway. So I don't put too much thought into knots as long as they hold. So yeah, as you can see, this is, I'm going to want to be way over there, so I should have tied this one long and that one short. There you go. Now let's shorten up this end. All right, as usual, it takes me a bit of time to get this set up. I haven't sat in it yet. I always want to video the first sit just in case something amazing happens. Amazingly funny. It's going to kind of ease into it. Oh, that side slid. It's kind of sliding down the tree a bit. Please don't let go. Oh, he's sliding. I might boost that one up some. This is exactly where I want to be, though. Yeah, this will work. I'll just make sure this end's secure and not going to slide more. That end's great. Oh, and here comes the sun. I got to watch out. There's great big clods of snow coming out of the tops of the trees. They're like great big bombs of slushy snow hitting the ground all around me. I don't want to get clobbered with one of those. I'm going to keep my hood up just in case. Here comes the sun, man. Oh, that's nice. Beautiful little spot. Okay, let's start thinking about why we're here. The coffee. How I make coffee in the woods. For Marty on over at Martys Ramblings. Marty's a great guy. I'm really enjoying his videos. So, like I said, I planned to make a fire. That was my plan coming in. But on the way in, I could tell that everything is soaking wet. Could I get a fire going in an emergency? Sure. You get a huge fire going, right, to burn through the wet wood. But I don't have enough small stuff that's dry, I don't think, to really. I'd have a smoky little fire if I did a fire. But lucky for me, I brought a backup. So y'all know I'm into the DIY methyl hydrate stoves, or alcohol stoves, if you want to call them that. So I brought one of those, and it's kind of cool. I've shown it before, but it's been a while since I used this one. So let's get her set up and get on with making a coffee here so we can sit back and enjoy it. I might lift this chair up just a little bit more too. Although I want to be close to the ground. Not that close, I don't think. Right on. Let's get set up. I did adjust my hammock chair. We got it sitting pretty good there now. I was almost thinking I could sit the other way too to do this, but I don't think. I'll do it this way. So I've got my baking pan that I always bring. I'm just going to get some snowballs around here to keep it from sliding around too much. One good thing about still having snow, I'm going to level this guy out just a little. That looks almost all right there. Let's try that. So on the side of my pack, I've got my trusty old methyl hydrate stove, man. And I'm grateful to have it here today. So I got my methyl hydrate in a bottle there. And I got my DIY stove with crossbars. Let me show you what this one is. So this stove, just I believe it to be a tuna can. This is like a fancy feast stove. So it's a tuna can, and I've used a tomato paste can on top, stuck that in the middle, and just drilled some holes through the top of that, stuffed yellow pipe insulation all around that. That's what I think is in there. And then I had some metal screening kicking around, so I pushed that all around the top, cut it out to size, and pushed it in. And that is my methyl hydrate stove, one of them. Before I found my perfect stove that I made, this one was a pretty efficient stove, but I haven't used them in a while. So, and I've also got the my crossbars, or my pot stand. So it goes right on top like that. I just took the cross stand off a max heat stove system. Right, you've seen these crossbars before, and I just put notches in them on the other side to fit this stove. Let's get them filled up and see what we can do. There we go. That's my methyl hydrate stove. I got my mug. Hopefully I got my kettle. That would be a short challenge if I didn't have my kettle or my water. I hope I got, yeah, I got my water too. I put my kettle in this here coverall leg that I cut off and sewed the bottom just to keep soot from inside my pack. Here's my coffee kit. That for, it's not too bad for level. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just don't want my pot falling off, my kettle falling off of there. And my water. And that should be about all I need. Nope, one more thing. Before we go too far, always have gloves when you're playing with fire. Because I am that guy. I will grab the burning hot steel, whatever it is, and burn myself. So always gloves before I start playing with fire. Okay, I'm going to get my water ready first. I've just got my folding spoon is inside my mug. Oh, I try not to fall over. And I always, when I make coffee in the woods, I always like to measure my water going into my kettle. So I'm only boiling the water I need to boil. And the way I make my coffee, that helps too, to have a measured amount of water. So I'm just going to dump him in the kettle. Perfect. So now I'm only boiling what I need for water. Try to make a little spot so that he can sit there. And now he can come offside. I can get the coffee ready while the water's fixing to boil. Okay, I'll bring you in close and let's get this stove lit. All right, to light this stove, I'm going to take my crossbars off for a second. Just while I fill it, I'm going to put them back on before I light the stove. So my methyl hydrate. I'm going to put my methyl hydrate right in the center. I'll put a little bit around the outside too. Oh, I didn't want to get a bunch in my pan, but it doesn't matter. It'll burn off. There we go. I can see it wicking up all around. I wonder if you guys can see that. See that getting darker? That should be enough methyl hydrate to boil water. Let's throw a little bit more in just in case. Ooh. I started carrying a little bit of tin foil on my methyl hydrate bottle, just in case I need to make like a windscreen or anything. It's not something I really considered before. Okay, got my water right here, ready to go. Let's throw a spark at this and see what happens. So here we go. It's lit. The outer lit ring there lit right away too. Now, let's not waste that. And get my water right on there. Looking good. I think last time I used this stove, me and Wyatt used it to cook breakfast the time he lost his tooth. Not too long ago, I don't think. There we go. That shouldn't take too long. Man, that stove is going. Oh, that was a big plop of snow came down. I could feel it. Oh man, I hope I don't get nailed here. Okay, let's get my coffee ready. So, double wall mug is what I use for my coffee mug when I'm out in the woods, especially in winter. In the warmer months, I might start using my wooden mug. I have a Cooksa that I'd like to start using, but in the cold months, you just get your coffee in it and it's froze. So I use, and my preference is the good old pour over device. This is a silicone pour over device. It was under $10 on Amazon. Might have been $6 on Amazon. I ordered it, and it works great. Packs down flat, nothing to it, right? I nest all my coffee stuff just right in my kettle. Nothing to it. So that's gonna go on top of the cup. That's making steam already. That's crazy. It's only been like 2 minutes. Got basket filters. If I can get a hold of them. I'll put a basket filter in the pour over device. Just like that. So I always bring my coffee and my sugar. I take my coffee with just one sugar thereabouts. So I bring my coffee and my sugar in these little mint tins. So they seem to work really great. I'll put my sugar in my cup. Just a little bit of sugar. And one of these mint tins is what I find to be the perfect amount of coffee for 1 cup of coffee. So I just fill it up, like as I'm filling it, I'll tap on it and get it to pack down good. 1 mint tin of coffee equals 1 nice cup. Should be good and strong. And that's it. All we do now is wait for water to boil. Lovely. Spring is in the air. I can keep hearing these great big plops of slushy snow coming off the trees, man. I'll be very lucky if I get out of here without catching at least one. Hopefully it doesn't land right on top of everything. Man, that's amazing. That is at a rolling boil right now, I would say. That's crazy. I didn't even stop the video yet. And look at that stove go, right? So the most expensive part of that stove there is the crossbars, because I did buy them. Well, there's nothing I can do. That's boiling. Hard boiling. Perfect. I'll just let that burn and pour my coffee. I always just wet the grounds first. I'll let that run through. So, measuring your water too. Now, as I'm pouring into this, I just need to pour all the water in. I'm not going to overflow my mug. So I can be confident and get a good amount of water in that pour over device. Even when I'm at home, I make my coffee in a coffee maker. It's programmable, so I wake up every morning and my coffee is on, right? It's good. But out in the woods or away from home, I really like the pour over devices. Like at the beach, I have a pour over device down there that I use. It's just cleaner and quicker, right? You just need to boil water and pour it through, right? So, and I get a great cup of coffee out of it. This one's almost poured through. And then also, once this pours through, I just use my kettle as like a compost bin from this point on. So what's left of that will go right in my kettle, and that's how I'll take it home. I don't find anything gets all up in my pack or anything, like water or coffee grounds. Nothing's ever come apart. So that's how I do it. Almost poured all through. Got my folding spoon. It was nested in my cup. Man, I forgot how good that stove is. It puts out some heat. You have to put the holes in the top, especially if you're not using a pot stand. Only if you're not using it. If you're using a pot stand like I am, crossbars, you don't need holes in the top of your tomato soup can, tomato paste can. But if you don't use those bars, which you don't have to, you can put that kettle right on that can. But if you go to lift it, this happened to me once before. When you go to lift your kettle, it'll stick. It'll kind of vacuum to it. So you gotta have holes in there so that it doesn't vacuum to it. Because when that sucks to it, and you're like, "Oh, what's going on?" What happened to me was it dropped and spilt methyl hydrate everywhere, and there was blue flame everywhere. And I was in my shed too, so it wasn't a good scene. But that's when I learned: put the holes in it. That way, it won't vacuum. Oh, there we go. So like I say, my kettle's now my compost. Keep watching to see if we see Mr. Raccoon. It's a little early for him to be out, but you never know. He's definitely in the neighborhood. I would say those were today's tracks. That can go in there. That can go back here. Now I'm just going to let that stove burn till it burns out, I guess. Why not? Let's get set up in the hammock chair and do some relaxing. There we go. That'll be fine right there. That's the thing with that stove, though. There's no way. Once he's up and going, there's no way to put him out. So you just let him burn till he burns out. All right, let's get set up in the hammock chair and do some relaxing. Now, let's see if I can get into the hammock chair without kicking over my coffee or doing anything crazy. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, there we go. Well, sir, that is how I do coffee, Marty. Right there. Right there, my buddy. Wonderful. Wonderfully strong. That's nice. Nice, strong, hot cup of coffee. Nothing to do now but drink this coffee and watch the little creek roll by. Relaxing, man. How nice. Oh, that's good coffee, Marty. That's really good, man. I like it. I like seeing that sun, too. I keep hearing these big clumps of snow coming out of the trees all around me, man. Fingers crossed I don't get nailed by one. Well, we're in for some warm weather coming up the next couple days in my area, Nova Scotia. Or as Marty might say, Nova Scotia. Because he's often saying that he's in Minnesota. So, here in Nova Scotia, hopefully we'll have the snow behind us, man. I'm anxious to get in the woods more. The time has changed now, so it doesn't get dark now till like 7:30 at night. I was out last night. Me and Wyatt were out, and it was 7:20 at night, and it was still full on light out. So the days are getting longer. Now's the time before mosquitoes and stuff start. Good thing to mention as well. The guys on Atlantic Bushcraft Adventures were talking last night about bugs. And this time of year is usually the time of year between now and April 1st. First of fishing season is April 1st here in Nova Scotia, so that gets me into the woods even more so. And I always forget about ticks, man. I always forget they exist because it's only been like 5 years since I've even seen a tick here in Nova Scotia. In my end of the province, I never saw them. Then 5 years ago, I ended up with one in me, one on me, and ever since then, every year I see a couple, right? So anyway, good reminder from those fellas. Ticks exist. They are here. Put a shot of fly dope on before you go in the woods, right? That's basically all I do for prevention. And I try to be wary, right? If I'm try not to push through really bushy areas. If I do push through anything and branches are all touching me and stuff, I'll have a look, right? See if anybody's hitched a ride, see if anybody's crawling, brush them off, keep going, right? but for the most part, I haven't had too much trouble with ticks myself. However, they do like to get on me, and they'll hitch a ride to the car, and we'll be like driving along, and I'll hear the wife screaming, and there'll be a tick crawling on her. It hitches a ride with me into the car, then waits for her to get aboard the car, and then it crawls on her. She doesn't like that much. So another trick that I do is I put a lint roller in the car from this time of year through till snow's on the ground again. Not that there aren't ticks in snow, there is, but I'm more vigilant, I guess, in the warmer weather. I put a lint roller in the car so that when I get back to the car, especially if the kids are with me, quick lint roll up and down your exterior clothing, and I've never gotten nothing stuck to it, but I think I would, right? If there were any ticks on you. Anyway, that's about all I gotta say about that. Ticks, bugs, and usually I don't spend a lot of time in the woods in July and August. That's kind of I'll make the odd venture out, right? But normally there's far too many mosquitoes to be deep in the woods, especially near water or anything. The mosquitoes will drive you out, man. I've had them drive me out in the past, run me right out of the woods. So mosquitoes can be a problem. Fly dope isn't enough for them during those months, I find. Anyway, Marty, I'm rambling. I feel like I'm rambling, man. I get it from you. Oh, I'm just gonna be real quiet now. Listen to the sound of the stream rolling by. Enjoy this coffee. Soak it all in, man. Try to breathe it all in. Take it with me. Gorgeous. I hear chickadees. That's always a good sign. Mmm, that was an absolutely wonderful cup of coffee, man. Oh, how very relaxing this has been. I know Marty likes to stay kind of on trail. He's not into really getting out in the wild, right? So, Marty, I would suggest just like where I'm at right now is not in the middle of the woods. I'm a few minutes from my car, right? I just didn't take any trail. That's all. I looked at Google Maps and I had seen a waterway in here, so I dropped down in for a look one day. Saw a road nearby. That's how I find most of my spots. And I've found it very rewarding to do that. Getting off trails, man. I was never much of a trail guy anyway. I just got to be careful. I get turned around awful easy. Keep hearing things behind me. So behind me there, you can see that's the face. That's the namesake to this here spot. When I was walking up this valley and found that for the first time and found this spot, man, I was over there on the other side of the brook, walking, looking for mushrooms or whatever I could find, just out experiencing the woods. I looked across and saw that big rock face, man. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Check that out. And then when I get over here, I discovered a few nice mossy rocks and a really nice spot to just chill with a good view of the creek running by. And so I kept coming back. But it's edging on to supper time. I hate to go, but I've had a lovely time. That stove of mine worked great, man. I really like that stove. That's probably the most faithful design, other than my little one that I've been using lately. Previously, that was my favorite DIY stove. It's just efficient. I would say that's still my favorite stove for cooking on. My little one's good, but that one, I think, for frying or anything, I think it's probably a little bit better. Hopefully, probably not the next video I do, but within the next few videos, the snow will be gone. We'll be starting to look at the woods in spring. Wouldn't that be awesome? I've already packed everything up that I had out. I don't like to have a bunch of clutter around while I'm sitting relaxing enjoying my coffee. So I always start the coffee, clean up, sit down, finish the last half of the coffee. Hmm, gorgeous. Really happy with these straps too, man. They give me a lot of reach and they should be really easy to take down out of there. I've just got like a slip knot in them, so they should slip right out both sides. I'm hoping anyway. And they got good reach, right? I was worried I wasn't going to have trees close enough together down here, but I got all kinds of reach. Oh well, let's tear down and start heading home for supper, I guess. This is how I do coffee, Marty. Coffee at the face. I'll just show you here how easy this knot should come out. So see how I just doubled it over on itself? Should be able to just pull this. Look, la 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 la. Boom, done. No binding there, man. Awesome. I don't know what that's called when you do that, but it works. Well, there we go. What a beautiful little bit of time at the face I've had. So this was the how I do coffee. Wait, how was I going to put it? This is the how I do coffee drift at the face for Marty from Martys Ramblings. That's how I'll put that. Something like that. Anyway, I don't know. I'll figure something out. Always, sometimes when I do a video, the title's right there, right? I just know what it is. Sometimes I don't. I already had the title in my mind for this one. It's just sometimes hard to get the words out. So, the How I Do Coffee Drift at the Face for Marty at Martys Ramblings. So go check Marty out. He's making videos, man. He's got a really great attitude. He's a very positive guy, man. Fun to watch. That's how I'll describe Marty. Fun to watch. I'm really enjoying his videos, and I think you would too. Go check him out. Beautiful. Everything's just shiny. Sun coming through the trees. This is it, man. This is what is. Anyway, I gotta head her home for supper. Thanks for joining me. Thank you, Marty, for issuing this challenge. I really enjoyed this little drift out to have a coffee and show you how I do it, my preferred method, the pour over. Oh, I forgot to mention my coffee today was Folgers, Intensely Dark. It's what was on sale. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, and remember, folks, you will never find anything unless you get out and look. Go have a look, man. It's worth it. Bye for now.